Soundtracks are awesome. Let me start this video off by pointing out the obvious. This is not the usual angle that you are used to. One thing I admire about a lot of vloggers is their ability to have interesting crud in the background. And my background, when it was facing the other way, is not all that interesting. The other reason that the camera is sort of pointing this way instead of that way is because I built a desk today out of an old door, and I have not covered it yet. So it's still got the little like panels in it, so my monitor will not sit anyway except for cockeyed, so it's pointing this direction, and I'm gonna see how I like that, see if it's not, you know, a better angle, I think. On to the guts of the video, which is about soundtracks. If you know me at all, you might be expecting me to say that my favorite soundtrack is Parade, or maybe Purple Rain, or Parade, and I do love those records a lot, but I tend to always judge them based on the films that they're soundtracks for, and those films are not stellar. I know that sounds crazy, because I do love Purple Rain and I do love Under the Cherry Moon, but they're not great movies. They're great Prince movies, but they're not great movies. They're both an exercise in Prince's egotism, especially Under the Cherry Moon, and they're very enjoyable, especially for a Prince fan, but they're not particularly well made or well acted or directed. When I listen to these albums, I sometimes have flashes of the movies in my head, and that's not always a good thing. What I really like is when a soundtrack and a movie like blend seamlessly, and there's this consonance about them. What's the word? Synergy between the soundtrack and the film. And there are a lot of those soundtracks out there. Tarantino has very good soundtracks, but my favorite soundtrack, and this is gonna seem hypocritical because I've never seen the movie, but my favorite soundtrack is Ned Kelly. The real historical Ned Kelly was an immigrant to Australia from Ireland, and he was an outlaw and sort of a folk hero. I don't really know the whole story with Ned Kelly, so I would ask that if any Australians are watching this, they can like fill me in a little better. But from what I gather, he's sort of regarded as like a folk hero by some people, and by some people just like a idiot cop killer, and that's not really the reputation you want to outlive you. So it's really fortunate for Ned Kelly that Shel Silverstein sat down and wrote this soundtrack. That's right, Shel Silverstein, that children's poet. If you think that you don't know Shel Silverstein's songwriting, except for like I'm Getting Swallowed by a Boa Constrictor or like those sort of children-y songs, you're probably mistaken. Basically every excellent song that you've ever heard by Dr. Hook, written by Shel Silverstein. Also a lot of other fantastic hits for country musicians, including Loretta Lynn and Emmylou Harris. So what you get with this record is sort of the whole of Shel Silverstein's talent funneled into one theme, and that theme is Ned Kelly's life and trials and struggles and eulogy, basically. And it makes for a really interesting listening experience because there's some like Irish stuff going on, and there's some Australian stuff going on, and there's some country stuff going on, and it's all Shel Silverstein's brilliant writing, and it's just fun to listen to, and it's heartbreaking, and it's just a terrific record. Here's the caveat though, I have never seen Ned Kelly. I've not seen the 1970s version, which the soundtrack is to. I have not seen the more recent 2000s version, which starred Heath Ledger and is apparently very good. I know next to nothing about Ned Kelly. So again, I ask you, if you're Australian, to, you know, fill me in and let me know if either of those are good films. And let me know which one's better, and if I can stream it on Netflix, I will. Because I can't stream the 70s version on Netflix, and I don't know why. I also don't understand the pointing. But another thing that you should do is watch Under the Cherry Moon and Purple Rain. They're both available to stream on Netflix. I'm telling you, they will not change your life, but they will be enjoyable. If you listen to the albums, you'll really, really dig them too. Did I just say dig? What is wrong with me today?